We're back with another episode of the Aberdeen series, and I'm really excited for this one because finally I feel like I've made some transfers that aren't just short-term solutions for a season and a half, but actually players I think could grow with this club all the way to the top level. We've made some amazing signings and I can't wait to show them to you guys. So let's run the intro and get right into it. Hi everyone, Jake here. Welcome to the Aberdeen series. Hope you're all doing very well. A lot of time has passed since you've last saw us. You'll see we're now in February. Plenty of months have gone by. We've had a whole transfer window over like half of the season near enough, where we've been doing way better than you might have thought we would. We had a really good winning streak. We've brought some players in. So first of all, let's start with that winning streak and how we've been getting on. As we take a look at it though, don't forget to smash the like button and show your support for me. If you could, I would massively appreciate it. Drop a comment down below to help with the algorithm and subscribe for more. You're all absolute legends with all of the support on the series so far. So let's try and keep it up. So you last saw us at the start of November playing Hibs, where we had that hilarious game. I say hilarious, it wasn't at the time, where pretty much everyone got sent off, which was really annoying, and it gave Hibs an easy win, and we started to look like we were struggling. 3 losses in a row, not doing great, but suddenly we decided to turn it around. We beat Livingston away 2-0. We then went on to beat Dundee United 3-0. We then had pretty much a month pass during the World Cup, which, I mean, I need to talk about this. Have a guess who you think won the World Cup. I guarantee you did not think Senegal, who not only beat France in the final, they also beat, where are they? How do we look at the whole thing? View stage. Here you go. Senegal also beat Brazil in the semi-finals, so they beat not only Brazil and France, but also decided to knock out Argentina on the way. They were just on fire in this competition, did very well, also beat Wales 4-0. Just thought I'd point that out. Very interesting that Senegal, of all teams, won the World Cup. But yes, back to where we were in terms of the form. We had the World Cup happen, we came back, and we beat Hearts 2-1. We then had what might have been the most defining match of this series so far, a home match against Celtic, where arguably we played at a similar level to them. I think a draw was a fair enough result, but we were actually really good on the day, and it impressed me a lot and really showed the signs of where we were going as a club. We then went on a winning streak, beating St Mirren away, Kilmarnock away, Ross County at home, and St Johnstone. All games I would expect us to win, to be honest, but it's nice to see that we actually did exactly that. We then lost to Hibs in a semi-final of the League Cup, which was unfortunate, but on the course of the game, they did outplay us. We then won a Scottish Cup match 4-1 and then drew to Hibs away. That was another good result considering where they are in the league, which I'll show in a second, but St Mirren and Motherwell are our next 2 games, and then off camera, I'll have the big match soon against Celtic away from home. But we somehow, I wouldn't say we were in a title race, I think that would be too far to say, but we've definitely secured ourselves a top 6 spot, definitely a top 5, and I'd argue even as far as saying top 4's done, it's guaranteed. For me now, this would be a great season if we finished in this position. Considering where we started, I think we'll have done very well, but my main aim is to now try and overthrow Hibs and take that 3rd spot as the best of the rest team in the league, at which point we'll only be a few points off Rangers and then a few points off Celtic, but that is not the aim right now. Overall, I just love to beat Hibs in the league and maybe have a nice Scottish Cup run, maybe even win it and get some silverware in our first season. And I think we're only going to get better unless we have a real fall. I think we could win both games today, and I think that's because of the signings that we've brought in. So let's talk about them, shall we? We started our clear out by letting club favourite Johnny Hayes go. Not good enough anymore. He's quite old and just wasn't really playing for me. So he's gone to Derry City in Ireland for a nominal fee of a few £1,000. Trying to trim the fat of the squad the best I could, I decided to loan Shaden Morris out, who hadn't really got much game time, deserved some, and he's gone on loan to League One side Wickham. Dante Polvara, I had not really used at all. I don't think he's good enough. We're going to sell him soon, I would imagine, but the South African has gone on loan to Greenock Morton, who are a team in the Championship. Cal Roberts has left the club to Exeter, and I know the club take a loss here, but we didn't sign him for 150k. I barely used him, he didn't fit into my tactics, and for me, just wasn't working. I know we've taken a hit in a transfer sense of things, but it's the kind of stuff we're going to have to deal with as we trim the fat of this squad and make it the kind of squad that we want to see. So he's gone to Exeter City, and Jack Milne has gone out on loan to Dunfermline Athletic. And again, I'm probably butchering all of these pronunciations, so thank you to all of you who are helping in the comments. And I'll talk about one particular pronunciation when we get into that first game that's really bugging me. But anyway, Jack Milne has gone out on loan and hopefully will develop well. Not getting enough first team football here. Potential to be a good player. We just need to see if he can develop at another club. And then we get to the incomings, and you might remember that we had some money from taking a transfer clause out of Calvin Ramsey, and for a long time my scouts were recommending Fabrizio Diaz as pretty much the best signing that we could make, and he was also quite cheap. And I thought, you know what, we scouted him for a while and £1 million or so was way over our transfer budget. But as time went on and we started to let go of a few players, lower the wage bill, get that Calvin Ramsey money, we suddenly had the funds to actually pull this deal off. And we went for it. And whilst it is going to cost us a little bit of money, with £1.9 million being the transfer fee, I think it's a great signing. He's coming from the Uruguayan divisions, from Liverpool FC, and so far he's done very well for us. Nothing against Ramadani in that deep line playmaker role, but Fabrizio Diaz is a mile above anyone else in that position in our team. He's someone that I don't just think is good for us now. At the age of 19, I think he's going to develop into one of the best players in the league if we can get his development right, because he just is a phenomenal signing, good in all areas. He's not really lacking any particular attribute. Maybe his tackling's fairly low, but other than that, I'm very happy to have him in the midfield. 19 years of age, plenty of room left to grow. Under 23 international for Uruguay. I expect him to actually become a fully fledged international, and he is now the star in that midfield. I say the star, Leighton Clarkson is still doing very well on loan, but in terms of the player we've got, Fabrizio Diaz is great, but I've also upgraded the centre-back line by getting Ivorian centre-back Joris Gagnon on a free deal to play at the back for us. I actually signed him in our Lille Legends save a few years ago, if I remember right. Didn't play too much for us, but here he's coming in as a consistently good 26-year-old centre-back, ready to step into his prime. Comes off of a free deal from St Etienne, where he didn't play. He hasn't played for a good few years, but there is a quality player in there, I'm certain of it. And at one point, he commanded a £12 million transfer fee. In terms of our other centre-backs, they are an ageing bunch. I mean, if we look at them, we've got Yanga Ambiwa, who's old, Anthony Stewart, who's 30, which is fine, but we've got to look for the future. And with Liam Scales only being here on loan, I thought Gagnon was a very good player. £9,500 a week is a hell of a big wage, but I think he earns it. I think he's very good. I think he comes in as one of our best centre-backs now at the club. So very happy to have him here. And for you guys who are wanting some Scottish signings, I promise you that will come soon. We're scouting a lot of very good young Scottish players, but I cannot miss opportunities like those ones that we were offered in the market. And also, I don't know who signed him. Maybe it was the director of football. Maybe it was already agreed. But this guy's been signed from Turif. His name is Aaron Reed, a young striker who's just going to go into the dev centre. And I know I'm talking a lot, but before we get into those games, I do just want to show you the dev centre, because we're now getting to the point where some of our young players are ready to make that move into the first team. I'm not going to do it yet though. I'm going to wait until the start of next season, then bring them all through and make them a real part of our plans, and not just players who are going to play 1 or 2 games. I want to bring them through as core players to the squad, really. Maybe not first team players, but definitely squad players. And I think it'd be best to do that at the end of the season, when we can move some people on and give them the game time they deserve. So there's 3 very good ones there: Elmsley, Harvey and Bavage. And I think all of them could be very good players for us. But yeah, we are doing very, very well at the minute. I think the squad is improving. I think we're getting rid of the dead weight. And in terms of our average match ratings, Leighton Clarkson has been phenomenal, and I am going to try and loan him back next year. Stewart, Ramadani, McCory, Miofsky, Gagnon, Liam Scales, Basujan, everyone is doing well. But the one I want to cover before we start this first match is this man. Now, I don't know what's going on here. I should probably just look it up on the internet to find out. I originally called him Duck, and I got loads of comments saying it's not Duck, it's Duke. It's Duke, D-O-O-K. To me, that sounds like Duke, so I've been calling him Duke. And then I do that for 1 episode, only for them people come in the comments and say, oh no, it's actually D-U-K, Duck. So which one is it? And then I do Duck for the next episode and get told, I don't know who's told you that, it's clearly Duke. So I'm very confused. For me, I'm going to stick with D-O-O-K, which to me sounds like Duke. The majority of people are saying Duke, not Duck, so I'm going for Duke. If anyone's got any evidence to correct me, go for it, but from now on in, I'm calling him Duke. I don't care. D-O-O-K. That's what we're going for. But anyway, let's get into the match. I don't know if you guys are messing with me or whether there's just a bit of confusion. Who knows? Maybe this is some kind of elaborate prank and I'm going to change his name every episode. But we've got Keely Roos in goal, who's been very good for us. Phil Bardsley, who I don't really want to play, but he's complaining a little bit about his game time. And considering I told him he'd be a star player, we're going to use him, but trust me, I'm not extending his contract this year. He's not been very good for us. He's old. He's not great. I'm going to let him go. I know TJ Mount, if you're watching, you're a big fan of Big Phil, but no, he's not staying next year. Commands too much of an important figure in the squad compared to the quality that he's got. Anthony Stewart ganging on at the back with Mansour, Diaz, Clarkson, McCory, Ben Arthur, Basujan, and Miofsky. Let's go get this win. Everyone is on fire at the minute, other than Big Phil Bardsley at right back. And I will bring him off for Jaden Richardson if he doesn't play great. But this could be a very winnable match for us. We're doing really well at the minute, and I'd love to get another 3 points on the board. Obviously, we did have a little bit of a stutter in that cup match recently, but I do think here we can get a win. And on paper, if they're lining up the same formation we are, we should be able to beat them in terms of the quality that we have in the squad. I mean, Gagnon and Diaz are players that are, for me, good enough level to play Championship in England, let's say, or maybe even top division French league for a lower down club. Both of them are really good level players, and I think they're going to grow as the club grows. But don't worry, I've got my eyes on plenty of targets. It just depends how much money they give me in the transfer window next year. But we start off the game 20 minutes in, and it's St Mirren who have had the only chance. And for God's sake, they've scored. Keon Edwards has scored. Now, I'll tell you, off camera, we have been playing phenomenal. On camera, though, we seem to lose every single game. You guys saw us lose 2 with 3 red cards in 2 games last time you watched us. The time before that, I'm pretty sure we got battered by Celtic and scraped a win in our other game. And then we've won literally every match. And here comes St Mirren, realise we're on camera, and Edwards blasts the ball into the back of the net, should I say. And I feel like Phil Bardsley might have been at fault there, but maybe I'm just picking him out. Gagnon, not starting very well either. He'll need some time to settle in. He's only recently joined. But he did play well in his first match, in all fairness to him. Possession is all us, though. We're just not creating any chances with it. And we go into half-time, 1-0 down, no chances created. Our forward line seems to be the issue. So we'll see how we get on. But at 60 minutes, if nothing changes, I am going to bring Duke on. We've got the talent here to win this match. Let's see what we can do. It's Stewart with the header. And our first chance of the game isn't a great one, but it's something. So let's push a little bit more attacking and see what we can do here. And we do have another highlight. It looks like the players have really had that team talk into them and it's worked. What we need to do now is actually capitalise on it and do well. And Diaz does really well against Zidane Iqbal there. He does end up losing it, but he is still challenging for the ball. And it looks like he might have won a penalty. I couldn't really see it behind my camera, but Diaz did not give up. He kept battling, and he might have won something here. Let's see. Is it actually a penalty? No penalty, right, brilliant. It's a free kick instead, but at least it's something. Iqbal's going to get booked, I think, by the looks of it. Can Clarkson deliver it in? Right on the line, that was. Oh, it's off the line by Iqbal. Oh. Right, we're coming though. We're coming for this St Mirren side. We are going to make some subs because I don't think we should be losing this game. And I think it's the issue of our 3 attacking players not playing well between them. I'm going to bring on Duke. I'm also going to bring on Ryan Duncan, who has slowly started to have more of an influence in the team. I've started using him a little bit more and he is doing well. But overall, it's not a great day for anyone really in that midfield. I should note as well, Dale Stevens, who was doing well for us, is injured. He was a free signing that we bought in. So yeah, he's no longer in the team right now. He's out for a good few weeks. But I'll be really disappointed if we do lose this game. It's definitely a winnable one at home here at Aberdeen, which, by the way, still no idea why, but we're not getting much in terms of a crowd turnout. No one seems to be showing up for these Aberdeen games. And how we've ended up with 70% possession, but a 0.17 XG is disgraceful, really. Oh, we need to make some changes. Let's see what we can do. I'm taking off Joris Gagnon and bringing on Liam Scales. From there, I'm also going to bring on Ramadani for McCory and hope that those 5 substitutes can at least give us one chance in this game because we definitely deserve something. I mean, our XG is slowly ticking up, but we've dominated the match as a whole. It's just chance creation has been really poor for us. We do have a highlight here in the 80th minute. We're not giving up. Here's Liam Scales. He plays it to Ramadani, who's now taken up that box-to-box role and will likely play there a bit more now that Diaz is cementing himself as the deep line playmaker whiz. And it's a good ball through to him towards Duke, but he doesn't quite get there. Basujan, or Vinny Basuan, who his name I still can't pronounce, we're going to call him Vinny, picks it up. What is he doing? I don't know why he shot from there. Maybe it's because I got his name wrong. He decided to absolutely boot the ball over the bar. I don't know. But it's not looking good here for us, is it? Really not good enough. In possession, I want us to be way more direct now. Let's just get the ball up that pitch. Get it to Duke. Bomb it up to Duke. Watch him do some magic. Here we go. 87th minute. We might get one more chance here from the highlight, but we are in very attacking. So, of course, it could easily be a highlight for St Mirren, but we do have to go for it. Mansour up to Duke. Duke knocks it back to Ramadani. It's not good, though. Brophy is in. He takes a shot and it's hit the edge of the post, goes wide. We get a little bit lucky. But I think this is going to be game over, to be honest. I just don't think we've been at it today. We've been really good off camera. Really, really good. We did not really let St Mirren do too much either. But we have lost the game. And you know what? I'm really disappointed in that. And we best bounce back with a win in this next match. So let me get there. Oh, but we have given some ground now to Hibs. St Mirren climb up the table a little bit. Motherwell are only one place below us. Suddenly this next match becomes a lot more important. Okay, it is game day against Motherwell. I think if we can win this one, then we'll likely beat Cove Rangers in the cup. Then we'll have some momentum going up against Celtic. But we need to make sure we beat Motherwell here, or else suddenly they start to close the gap a little bit. Also, something to note that I didn't talk about. We had a guy called Hayden Coulson, a left back on loan. I decided to return him back to his club because Mansour was my starting left back. If he doesn't play, we've got good enough options that Scales can play there. And then if he doesn't play, we've still got Jack McKenzie. So I just didn't see a point in playing Coulson's wage. So we let him go. But in this game, I don't care if it upsets him. Phil Bardsley is not playing. Jaden Richardson will. He was the only player who played well last game after he came on. Got a 7 average match rating. So we're going to stick with him. Yanga and Biwa and Joris Gagnon is an interesting suggested partnership. And I would suggest, as far as the last match goes, that it might be a silly one to do. But for some reason, I feel like we've got to keep giving Gagnon the chance. It was only his first couple of games at the club. No one else really played well, so we'll stick with him. Do we stick with this full team? Is that what we're doing? I mean, Mbiwa comes in and Richardson comes in. But are we sticking with everything else? Or do we give Duke the chance over Miofsky? I don't think so. Miofsky still plays well most of the time. But I think I will actually drop Ben Arthur to the bench for Duncan. I think these wide areas are the next places that I'm looking to recruit in the summer. They're the places I start to want to get some real good talent coming in. Whether that's promoting the young players from the dev centre, giving someone like Ryan Duncan a chance, I don't know. But in terms of the free transfers that we bought in, your Hatton Ben Arthurs and players of that ilk, Phil Bardsley's as well, they're not long-term, trust me. They're not part of the plan that I'll usually do with a club. I don't usually sign players of that kind of age either, but sometimes it's a needs-must situation, and that's what it was when we took over Aberdeen. And I think Ben Arthur is here for another year after this. But in terms of what we're planning around, people like Ben Arthur aren't really up to scratch. I mean, he's a great player in terms of what he's done in his career, but he's not someone that I want to be a regular starter for us. And we're 5 minutes in and we're 1-0 down. It was a dodgy shot. I don't know how it found the corner, but it did. Roos has conceded. I'm not sure it was necessarily his fault, but it was an easy switch out. I guess Liam Scales is to blame for losing that to Aarons. We then give him far too much space in the middle, Van Veen, and it's actually quite a good finish. He just plants it right into the corner. No effort required at all. We can't lose 2 home games in a row, else we're never going to get any fans turn up. Come on, just score on camera for me. Please, everyone here on YouTube must think I'm a terrible manager at this point. I promise you, we were on like a 10-game unbeaten run at one point. Basujan, I don't know why he didn't shoot there, but he decided not to. Clarkson's picked the ball up. He's our magic man. We need him playing well. I don't know what that noise was. I don't know what that noise was. I sounded like Professor Frink in Simpsons, but we nearly scored then. Ryan Duncan with an easy chance to put that in the back of the net. Wasn't able to. Possession is all in our favour. We are dominating here. Clarkson to Mbiwa, and it's off the line. Bloody hell. Off the line in the last game as well. Can we not just score for once on camera? Can we just play well and prove to people that I can actually manage a football club? I promise you, Aberdeen is on the up. It just seems like in these episodes they decide to say, no, we're actually not. We're actually a terrible club. We are all right, and we will prove it. We're going to win here, I believe. Here comes Liam Scales. Oh, right. That wasn't even a highlight, apparently. I don't know what we were watching that for. But again, we're going to go again. 25 minutes in. Already getting more highlights than last time. And it's Yanga and Biwa at the back to Diaz. Calmly lays it back. Clarkson, there is room in that top right corner if we can go for it. It's now been blocked up, and we're going to have to take our time. Diaz is trying to spray the pass to Miofsky. Great playmaking from the base of the midfield. Miofsky shoots, it takes a deflection. We don't care. It's in the back of the net, and that's a lot of credit has to go to Diaz for that goal because that was a really good assist. It's as simple as anything. A direct ball over the top. Miofsky shows his strength and pace to get in behind. Good ball from Diaz. Good run from Miofsky. Good strength. And I would say a good finish. I'm not sure it quite was. It deflected past the keeper, but who cares? It's 1-1. We score for the first time in today's video, and suddenly things are looking a lot better in this game. Possession massively in our favour at 72%. XG also in our favour, only allowing 1 shot on target. It's just a shame that we conceded it. But now, though, we need to go even further and push for that second goal. And I imagine that's what the halftime team talk's going to be. I say that, no halftime team talk yet, because Clarkson's playing it in to Miofsky, right into the head of Kelly. Right into the hands of Kelly. And the highlight is still not over, so maybe there's a chance for one team before this half is done. And it's Gagnon winning the header. Comes down to Clarkson, who takes a nice touch and plays it out to Scales. He's a makeshift left back, playing usually as a centre back, but he's playing here at left. And Gagnon to Diaz. We're doing well. Nice build up. Diaz passes it through to Clarkson. Clarkson threads it through to Miofsky. Miofsky's in. He takes a shot. For God's sake, man. How's he missed that? He smacked it off a crossbar. I was sure he'd scored there. And we will go into half-time at 1-1. It wasn't to be. No second goal there just yet, but it is coming. I'm not happy with the performance, though. Let's be better. Let's up the tempo. I think we'll get a Ben Arthur or someone on. Unfortunately, there's no option really to replace Basujan. I know that might seem stupid that we sold Johnny Hayes, but Johnny Hayes was not an inside forward replacement on the left for Basujan. He just wasn't. I think Johnny Hayes was even left-footed, and we're trying to bring in a different kind of player. So that is somewhere I'm looking to recruit as a backup to Basujan, or someone to take over Vinny's place and have him be a backup to them. And Duncan also maybe not ready for this level yet. So we're going to get Ben Arthur on and see if he can create something. Duncan, when he plays though, is doing fine. We just want to see a little bit more from the more experienced players in the squad, like Ben Arthur. And we have our first highlight of the second half. It's not us on the ball though. It is in fact Motherwell, who have been quietly getting through this game without doing too much. But I feel like we're the dominant side here and we should win. And Richardson is going to try and help that by running down the right-hand side. He's got electric pace, Richardson. Shame he's not got electric passing. He gives it away. Kelly, though, is going to boot the ball forward, and I'm hoping we'll win it back and go again. And it is Younger and Biwa who brings it down. No idea why his name is Mapu here. I think his name was always Younger and Biwa, and that's what I'm going to call him. McCory's on the ball in the midfield, who we haven't seen much of since the introduction of Diaz into the squad. McCory's taken kind of a backup role. And here's Basujan. Vinny Basujan, well done. What a goal. He does really well then. Ross McCory with the assist. Vinny with the goal. He brings it down really nicely and threads it into the corner. And that is what we want to see. We're 2-1 up. It's a deserved lead in my opinion. And he hadn't had a great game up until this point, but we do get the goal. It's exactly what I wanted to see. No idea why Miofsky slowed his run. Basujan should have been able to run in and slide it back to Miofsky. It just did not happen. But yeah, great goal from Vinny. We're very happy with that. 66 minutes in, 2-1 up, and now it's time to start making some changes. We've only bought Ben Arthur on so far, so we have got that room to make some subs. And I also don't have to worry about fitness too much because we are playing Cove Rangers in the next match, which will be a rotated squad anyway. But Gagnon having a very good game. Diaz also doing really well. Let's take off Richardson and bring on Phil Bardsley. Let's take off Scales and bring on Mansour. We've still got 2 changes from there, so let's get Ramadani on and also Connor Barron. That'll be a nice set of changes, some nice introductions, some nice fresh legs on the pitch as well. That should hopefully get us over the line here. I mean, if Motherwell score their only other chance of the game, I'll be fuming. Let's just hope we can see this out with a 2-1 lead, maybe even get a third, who knows. I mean, there is a highlight, and it is Kelly on the ball for Motherwell. We have him very good at winning these balls in the air, and we've done it yet again. The ball falls to Ben Arthur, and it's a bit of a scrappy one, but Barron gets in there. The ball ends up forward into Miofsky, who's in. He takes the shot. Kelly with the save just over the bar, but we are doing much better now. 80 minutes in. I like a third to seal it, to be honest, but I'm not going to push too aggressively for it because chances are Motherwell will score the only other shot they have. Can Connor Barron create anything here? It's a good ball in. Not good enough though, and Slattery's able to get it away. XG massively in our favour here today. Possession at 70%. We're playing a really nice possession-based football tactic here with Aberdeen. I'm sure they're very happy with it, the fans. I say that to 10 fans that have attended, thank you. Here's Ben Arthur showing a lovely bit of skill. Finds Vinny. This could be a beautiful goal. Vinny needs to bring it down and play it across to Miofsky. He decides to go alone, chip the goalkeeper. What a goal from Vinny. What play from Ben Arthur to get it through to him. We're 3-1 up. We secure the 3 points. This is vintage Motherwell that we've been doing recently. This is how we've been playing. A shame Ben Arthur's assist gets denied here because of that tackle. But Basujan, cool as you like, chips the goalkeeper. 3-1 up. We're buzzing with this. Great win. We put some distance between us and Motherwell. And I think I mentioned it at the start of the episode, but I think we can now definitely say top 4 secured. That's going to put a big gap between us and them. Very nice victory. Well done. Let's just keep going and do what we can to take over Hibs. They've lost a point to St Mirren, which is good. We've managed to close the gap a little bit to only 3 points now. But the 2 leaders at the top, Rangers and Celtic, are flying above. I mean, Celtic were really far ahead, but they've slowly started to fall. And even though they've got a game in hand, Rangers are now top. I'm so interested to see how the top 2 plays out. I thought Celtic had it in the bag for a long time, so that's interesting. But yes, very happy with this. Connor Barron picks up a minor injury. Jack Milne playing well on loan. It's a great day to be an Aberdeen fan. Let's praise Vinny here. It was a very good performance from him. Probably the best he's had so far since I've started managing. Look at these kind of players we're bringing up in the coach reports. We could have some great talent on our hands soon. Oh, he's a nice right back. Ooh. I'll tell you what, our recruitment team's doing a good job here. We might have some players to sign. I'll take a look at all of these in a minute. But that is the end of today's episode, guys. If you have enjoyed it, smash the like button for me. Subscribe for more like this. You guys have been amazing with the support on the series. I'm hoping you're enjoying it as much as I am. I've had a great time so far. So thank you to everyone for watching. Hope you all have a great day, and I'll see you next time. Thank you, and goodbye.